Okay, so now we're going to do some warrior two. So you're going to keep your right foot pointing towards the chair, the direction the chair is pointing, and you're going to step your left foot to the outside edge of the mat. And then you're going to bend your right knee, and again adjust your foot so that it is underneath your knee. And then try and face the ribcage forward. You can use the chair if you need to. We're going to take a warrior two. So the hands are really stretching to the edges of the mat. The tailbone, sitting bones are really reaching down between the feet. The feet are pushing into the floor and away from each other, so you're really stabilising the feet. And then you can look towards your right fingertips. And the right knee is trying to move towards the right little toe, so rather than in, it's trying to move out. And you just sink here and you just hold here. You might be like this. Your arms are tied, you might be like this. However it feels, it's a really good stretch for your legs. And I keep my toes up on that right foot for extra stability. Might help. And then keeping the lower body exactly as it is, you're going to just reach over towards the right and then come back to centre. And then look to the left and try and reach to the left a little bit and back to centre. And reach. And see if you can reach as you exhale. Inhale to centre. Reach as you exhale. And inhale to centre. Good. And then you can drop your left hand down to the outside of the left thigh. And you can take your right arm up and just have a good stretch over. And just you can look down, look forward. Try and roll the shoulder back. You can even look up. Come back to warrior two, and then we can stretch the other way, either holding onto the chair, or you can have your forearm on your knee. And again, you can look forward, or down, or up, depending on what's the most comfortable for your neck. Then pressing the feet into the floor, coming back to warrior two. And then we just bring both feet facing forward, and then we change direction. Of course, some days you won't need the chair at all, and some days you might have the chair there and not use it. Some days you'll be really holding onto the chair, and then all of it's fine. So we're going to make sure the knee is above the ankle and that the knee is pointing towards the little toe. We're going to make sure, even though the hips might be twisted a little bit, we're going to try and keep our upper body to the side. Drop the shoulders and holding our warrior two. And then maybe reaching as you exhale. Inhale to centre. Reach as you exhale. Inhale to centre. There might be very little movement here. You might be doing it all just really sweetly and gently without too much effort. You might be doing it really strongly, depending on how you feel. And then you can have a stretch back towards the back leg. And then back to warrior two. And a nice stretch towards the left leg. Take that bottom arm bone back. Back to warrior two. And then straighten the leg and turn both sets of toes forward. Bring your hands on the hips and just zigzag, heel toe, your feet back together and back to hip distance. Give them a little shake out. And then turn sideways towards your chair. Take your feet really wide. Okay, so widen your mat and your hands on your chair. And you have to work out how close you want to be to your chair, which will be completely personal. I'm going to just try and have a little forward bend. So you might want to just have it so that you rest like this in your forward bend. Or you might want to go lower. You might want to take the forward bend down to the floor, so you're almost like in a wide leg down the dog stretch. Really stretching the hands forward. You might have your knees bent and your heels up. But however it comes, just have a really good stretch out. Shake out your head so there's no tension in the neck. Few really deep breaths. So the chest is open in this rather than being a curled version. We want to be a bit further forward with the hands so the chest is nice and open and the hips and sitting bones are moving up towards the sky. Then when you've had enough of this, just going to gently walk the hands in, zigzag the feet back to the hip distance apart, Bend your knees and curl up very gently. Roll the shoulders back, shake out the legs. And then we'll have just a nice back stretch. So a bit further away from the chair, feet hip distance apart, bend the knees and take hold of the chair. And then you're just going to rest the fronts of the wrists on the chair, and you're going to just start to sink your chest down. So your arms are then alongside your ears. And then you take your feet back so that you can get some sort of straight line. You might have your knees bent, that's fine, but really reaching forward with the fingers, reaching back with the sacrum, and just having a lovely stretch out with your spine. A few deep breaths here. And then relax. And knees walk towards the chair. Gently come up. Roll your shoulders back a few times. Have a few deep breaths. Just assess how you feel. Shake out your legs. Just got a couple more strong poses, and then we'll do some nice gentle poses. So we're going to do the tree pose now. It's a balancing pose. When you have the chair nearby, you might use it, you might not. You're going to bring your weight onto your right foot, and you're going to turn your left foot out to the side. And then you can bring the sole of the left foot onto the inside of the calf muscle. And you can try to balance here with or without the chair. And if that seems too easy, then you can bring your foot all the way up to the inside of the thigh. But don't press on the inside of the knee. So it's one or the other, or some days you'll just be down here, that's fine. But with the chair, you should be able to get to the calf or the inside of the thigh. And you can try and bring the hands to the hips, and the hands to the heart centre. You might even take the arms over the head, or you might be doing it all one-handed. Nice hand in the heart. But either way, really developing strength in that right leg. Left side, hips opening, heart stays open. Breath is full and deep. The easiest way is with the hands on the hips. So if you're beginning, or if you're very wobbly, you can just attempt to be here, and that would be enough. And then place your left foot back on the floor and shake your right leg out. And you can do the same on the other side. So you might want to be the other side. I'll have the chair on the other side, but it's fine here. And just trying to find your balance. Hands on the hips is the most simple. Hands on the heart centre. Very stable. With hands on the heart, you can make sure that your chest is nice and open. And then arms over the head is the most difficult, especially when you're moving your hands over the eye gaze, then you might find problems with your balance. So just being really, really careful when you're moving your balance. And if here is not comfortable, you might feel nice here. Shoulders can drop, chest can open. And the breath full and deep. So with balance, it's about fixing your gaze on a point in front of you. It's about bringing your awareness to your breath. It's about being able to wobble and breathe. And just those little calibrations helping you to find your centre. And then coming out of the pose, shaking out the legs. And finally, just a little quad stretch, or it might be a dancer pose, depending on where we go with it, where you'll just face your chair, and again, having the foot facing the direction the chair's facing. And I'm going to try and just bring your left foot, so I've got my right foot on the floor, my left foot in my left hand, drawing the left shoulder back, trying to lengthen the tailbone and draw the knees towards each other. And then from here you might be able to take that arm up, the right arm, and you might instead want to take the left leg back and reach forward and up with that right arm. So lots of different ways. If it's really just a quad stretch you're getting here, you might just try and stretch out with the right arm. But if your quads are nice and open and loose today, and you want to reach forward, you can take it more into Reaching that leg back and the arm up. And trying the other side. Pressing the left foot into the floor, taking hold of the right foot, bringing the knees together, lengthening the tailbone down, lengthening the knee down, lifting the chest, stretching the arm up. Or taking the knee back, moving the foot away from the bottom, and reaching that left arm forward and up. Depending on how you're feeling. Find the version that suits your body today. A few breaths. And then come back so that your feet are hip distance apart. Close your eyes. And just see if you have better balance now on both feet, on all four corners of both feet. And you'll probably find that the answer is yes. It may not be completely still. You may still feel the need to hold on to the chair. But hopefully you feel very strong and stable in the legs. And they have a nice stretch out. So now we'll come down onto the floor. No, we won't. We'll turn the chair around. And we'll just stretch out the backs of the legs, because a lot of that standing work really stretches the quads. So it's good to give the backs of our legs a good stretch out before we move to the floor. So I've got a belt here. You can use anything. You can use a long sock or a tie. So we've got the chair facing us. Our feet are facing the chair. You're just going to bring one leg up. And if this is too high for you, you might want to consider that a lower bolster. Okay, you're going to bring the belt around the ball of the foot, and you're just going to wrap it around your wrists. And you're going to pull the toes back to you. You're going to try and keep your hips level. And it's quite hard to keep that left foot facing forward. You might want to move the right foot out to the right a little bit. Drop the tailbone down, open the chest. Take a deep breath in and just see if you can move forward. Not curling the spine, so not trying to move like that, which is very uncomfortable, not particularly good for you. We're trying to move, pulling the elbows back towards the lower ribs and moving the chest forward. Just so you feel really quite strong stretch in the back of the leg. But you're not really curling, you're just stretching. And you might be able to take your hands onto the chair and just make sure that your shoulders are nice and loose. Just a few breaths like that. And then release the belt, keep it where it is. Bring your hands onto your hips, square your hips to the front. Bring your right hand behind you to your lower back and your left hand on the outside edge of your right thigh. Now keep dropping the right hip down and just turn a little bit to the right. A little gentle twist here. Dropping the right hip down, turn it to the right. And then back to centre and then carefully changing sides. So plant that right foot down, pointing towards the chair. Bring that left foot up. Maybe when the foot's on the chair here, you can bring your hands to the belt and then stretch out the leg. Really draw the shoulders back and down and then see if you can move forward. Pulling the toes back, lengthening the back of the leg back behind you. And you can bend that supporting leg if it's really too much, if it's shaking. You can have it bent, it's fine. Make sure you're not sticking your chin forward. Bring your throat back a little bit so your neck's nice and long. Just take a few breaths. Trying to enjoy it. You can make it softer by releasing the foot and bending that knee as well. So if it's really too much, then that's okay too. And then releasing your belt, leaving where it is. Coming back, hands onto the hips, and we'll do that gentle twist to the other side. So keep dropping the left hip down. Right hand onto the outside of the left thigh, left hand behind you, pull the belly in and just twist to the left, dropping the left hip down again and again. Breath from deep. Not a big twist, it's just stabilising the hips a little bit. And then release. Hands on the hips, bend the knee, and then replace the foot back to the floor. Now I'm going to come down to lie. We can use the feet on the inside edges of the chair. You'll have a low block here. So this block, you can use two settings. This is a low setting, and this is slightly higher. I'm going to just place this block underneath the sacrum. So you're just going to bend your knees and roll down to the floor, and have the knees pointing towards the feet, not going out to the sides. This is quite a wide chair, that's fine, but make sure, we're having the chair there, you can check that your feet are pointing forwards and not out to the sides. Wriggle your shoulder blades so they're flat, and the tops of the arm bones can go flat to the floor. And you're going to keep your hands like this when you're in the air, because that keeps all of the chest nice and open. So you're going to just lift up, pressing on the feet, lifting your pelvis up, and just place the block under your sacrum. So it's not under the lower back, it's just the top of the buttocks. And if that feels too easy, or if you just want a little bit more, then you press the feet into the floor, lift up a little bit more, and place this underneath your sacrum. So be aware that if it's not stable, you need to hold it. But if it is stable, then you can come to this position where you feel that your chest is nice and open and your sacrum is being ironed out by this block as you drop your weight down into this block. And if that is quite nice, holding the block, you might try taking your feet up to the chair. And this might feel unstable. If it feels unstable, don't do it. But it might also be nice to stretch one leg up, maybe the other leg up, just a little bit. Maybe, if it's nice, if it's completely stable, you can rest with your legs up in the air. But don't do this if there's any risk of it falling out. Find what's the nicest position for you. And this position here is just a lovely position to just stay in. You can have your arms like that. You can even take them cactus like that. You can stay here for a long time if it's nice. We're just starting to release the spine and the pelvis, starting to move towards relaxation, finding that comfortable place for the arms. When you're ready to come out of this pose, press the feet into the floor, just lift the hips up and come down to the lower setting first. Take a few breaths here. And then finally, lifting the hips again, all ironing out your spine to the floor. That feels so good after you've been up. Then you can take your feet up to the chair, and this might be too much to begin with, but you can try and bring just above the ankle of the right foot over just above the knee of the left. And you can be actively flexing that right foot and actively pressing the right knee away from you, either with your hand or just with your mind. And if that's too much, then just drop that foot to the floor. And if that's too little, you can even squeeze the left knee into you while you press the right knee away from you. All the time flexing that right foot, bringing the toes back towards the knee. And that feels like a really good stretch, and you can do this in a very relaxed way. You can stretch that leg up if that's nice. And then release. And again, that's one that you can hold for a long time if you've got more time in your hands. If it was difficult, place the right foot down And cross the left leg over. If it was easy like that, then that's a good start. You can do this all very relaxed. Or you can give yourself an extra big squeeze. If this is easy, you can even take the shin so in a way that suits your body, always flexing and moving the knee away from you. And then gently release, placing one foot to the floor and then the other. And then you can try and relax with the chair there if it's comfortable. I like to have my knees on the inside of the legs and the feet to the outside of the legs. But you might prefer just to move the chair altogether. Make sure you've got enough room. Spread your hands. Wriggle the shoulder blades down so the top of the arm bones can fall. Make sure there's a nice flatness to the lower back, even though it's a natural curve. Feet turning out to the sides. Forehead relaxed. You can just close your eyes and just think about your breath as a tool of your relaxation. So your inhalation feels like you're a feather and you're being lifted up by a gentle breeze. And your exhalation, you feel like you're heavy and you're falling into the cradle of the earth. And each progressive inhalation, you get lighter and lighter. And each progressive exhalation, you get heavier and heavier. If you have lots of time at home, then you can make sure that you have a blanket to cover you. You can move the chair, you can even have a thin pillow under your head. And you can relax for 10 minutes or so, just focusing on the breath. The inhalation lifting you like a feather. And the exhalation dropping your weight further and further into the core of the earth. When you're ready to come out, you can just start by wiggling the fingers and toes of the face. Stretching. Stretching the legs, stretching the arms. Be careful if you've still got the chair there.